morning, dear children. Let's begin with today's class. Today we are going to discuss the topic petroleum or mineral oil. In my previous video we have discussed that what is fossil fuels. Okay, now let me tell you, fossil fuels and mineral oil, they are basically the same thing. The process of extraction of that particular oil is also the same thing. Whatever sort of filtration is done in order to extract petroleum, diesel or kerosene or any sort of oils, that is also same. Clear? So in this it has been written, the word petroleum has been derived from two Latin words, petrol meaning rock and oleum means oil. Means what? In petroleum, whenever we are talking about rock, see, in fossil fuels also fossils were buried deep inside the earth and above that rocky materials were there. Okay, same thing is available in your petroleum also. That petrol or that rock or that particular rock which is having fossils beneath it, all are the same. You know that in these rocks there are traces of oils of all living creatures which are remain dead and decaying, dead and buried for a long period of time. Understood? So this is basically about petroleum or mineral oil. Now what else it is being said? This petroleum oil is obtained from rocks, particularly sedimentary rocks of the earth, therefore it is also called mineral oil. What is the speciality of sedimentary rock? They are found in horizontal layers everywhere. Wherever you are going to see a sedimentary rock, they are having different types of layers, and in that layers only, in between that layers only, this dead and decaying remnants of plants and animals are there. Understood? Since these layers are indispensable, means it cannot be moved from one point to the other point. It will remain intact over there for a long period of time until and unless with any physical movement it is being moved. Same thing, you know that these sedimentary rocks are primarily found in ocean beds or sea beds. Clear? So that is how, or this is how the process or the extraction of mineral oil or your petroleum is basically done. In sedimentary rock, they are also composed of certain minerals because they are formed by the chemical reaction of water, air, heat and the natural presence of mineral which is already present in a rock from a natural process, because you know all the formation of rocks, whether it is a sedimentary rock, whether it is an igneous rock or whether it is a metamorphic rock, they are all formed by natural activities. There is no involvement of human. Clear? But whatever thing is being extracted from these rocks, these are basically done by humans, such as extraction of mineral oil or this petroleum particularly. Clear? So, petroleum is an inflammable liquid that is composed of hydrocarbons which constitute 90 to 95% of petroleum, and remaining is chiefly compounds containing oxygen, nitrogen and sulfur. What is the meaning? Meaning is very simple, that petroleum is an inflammable liquid. Inflammable means what? A liquid which catches fire easily. The meaning of inflammable will be what? Which catches fire easily. Clear? Then that is composed of hydrocarbon. What was the formula of hydrocarbon, which I wrote it in my previous video? That was capital H and capital C, hydrogen and carbon. Clear? Then, which constitute 90 to 95% of petroleum, means this hydrocarbon is the consistency of hydrocarbon is basically 90 to 95%, which is present in petroleum, and rest are the traces or the chiefly compounds of oxygen, nitrogen and sulfur, which imparts its odor, which imparts its smell, and they are also responsible for its color. Everything is there. Okay. Then we are coming to uses of petroleum. In uses of petroleum and petroleum products are mainly used as locomotive power. What is locomotive power? For transportation purpose. Any motor vehicle you see on road, whether it is a scooty, whether it is a bike, whether it is a car or whether it is a truck, all are running with these fuel only. Alright, that is the thing. Then, what else it is given? Yes, it has revolutionized transportation on land, air and water. What is the meaning of revolutionize? There is a sudden change, sudden development, sudden advantages Okay, these things were given to this particular locomotive vehicles. Then, it is the most important source of power in the world, because rather than locomotive vehicles, there are certain machineries, heavy equipments which run on this particular oil. They are put as fuel for running those machines. Okay, then it can easily be transported from producing areas to the consuming areas with the help of tankers and pipelines. You might have seen it on the roadside, you know, Bharat Petroleum, then Indian Oil. You might have seen there are tankers. Okay, they are basically responsible for transferring these oil from one point city to the another point of city. If it is not transferable from truck, then it is transferred through pipelines which is buried underground. Okay, that pipelines basically run underground basis. Clear? From there also these type of oils are transported. Clear? Then it emits very little smoke and leave no ash, and thus can be used to the last drop. Okay, whenever you see a motor vehicle running in front of you, have you ever seen too much of smoke coming out from it? It is only possible when that motor vehicle has not gone for service for a long period of time. That from the silencer, huge smokes also come, some sort of smell also comes out from it. But that is the case only if that bike or that particular vehicle is not gone for service for a longer period of time. Means if there is any dust, or if there is any mud or some sort of like that of material, then only smokes come out. But if you are simply burning the petrol, ideally it will not emit any smoke. Okay, and it leaves no ash, as when we are burning paper. Okay, it gives us light, it gives us heat, and it is when the fire is set on it, basically the residue which is left behind, that is ash. Okay, you might have seen it. Whenever we are burning coal or whenever we are burning wood, remnants are always there in the form of charcoal or in the form of ash. But when we are talking about petroleum or diesel oil, they are not leaving out any residue. Okay, they are not leaving any residue. Means what? It can be used to the last drop of it. Clear? That is the meaning. Then, it provides the most important lubricating agent. It is used as the raw material for many petrochemical products. When we are talking about lubricating agent, what is a lubricating agent? What is the meaning of lubrication? See, in order to reduce friction when two objects rub against each other, it forms friction. Okay, so we call it in Hindi ragad khana. Okay, and we can hear some sort of noise. Whenever, you just take for an example, whenever you have not applied oil to your door hinges, when you open the door, sometimes it creates a weird type of sound. Okay, but when you are putting oil into it, sound does not come any longer. It goes away. Same thing happens with motor vehicles also. If there is no lubricating agent, it will give out a very weird and loud sound. Just not talking about the weirdness or the loudness of the sound, it basically hampers the vehicle also. Because what happened, due to friction, wear and tear also occurs. Okay, take for an example, these are the two chalk pieces. Clear? These are the two chalk pieces, and when I am rubbing it against each other, see, when I am rubbing it against each other, what is happening? This is also getting reduced, this is also getting reduced, and everything is coming down in a form of powder manner. Okay, so what is happening when metal number A, or when substance number A and when substance number B comes in contact with each other, and when they are rubbed against each other, it produces friction, it produces certain amount of heat. So, and it produces certain amount of sound also. In chalk it is not possible because it is completely non-metal. Okay, it's not a metal. When it is rubbed against each other, this is a simple demonstration for you people to understand what is friction and what is wear and tear basically. Okay, and how it hampers that particular thing. So this chalk number A and chalk number B, let us assume that it is a part of two machines, a part of two parts of one single machine. Okay, and it is kept continuously in contact with each other. Okay, but when they are rubbed against with each other, when they are working together, and they are working without any lubricating agent, what will happen? Friction will happen. Too much of friction will happen. It will produce intense amount of heat, and slowly and steadily what happens, some part of metal will be, it will get corroded away and it will start getting to break. Okay, you can see if I am rubbing this chalk against each other, what is happening? See? It is not sharp as it was earlier. See the condition, there was one pointed thing on this chalk, now it is not present over there. So due to continuous friction, what happened? Wear and tear happened. So this is what wear and tear is. When I am rubbing against each other, the material is slowly turning itself into a different form and it is going away from that thing. So that same thing happens with our machines also. If there is a continuous wear and tear, what will happen? The machine will go bad. It will not function properly. So in order to reduce friction, a lubricating agent is being utilized. Whenever there is a very long hinge in a door, wherever, or the place on the handle where you put lock on the gate, especially the iron gates, okay, you will see whenever you are opening that particular gate, over there is a coat of grease. It is basically, it is very sticky in nature and it is little bit greyish in color and it smells almost like a kerosene oil. Okay, so that grease basically is a lubricating agent. It is reducing the friction. Okay, same thing happens with all the motor vehicles. There are certain amount of grease utilized in order to reduce friction, and ultimately if friction is reduced, so there will be no wear and tear. If there will be no wear and tear, means machine will run for much longer period. Okay, that is only meaning. I hope that particular thing is clear to you people. Now it is being said that it is used as a raw material for many petrochemical products. What is petrochemical products? Whenever petrol is also a chemical, because chemical compounds are present in petrol. Just now we have read it is oxygen, nitrogen and sulfur. They are present. So what are those things? Those things are basically chemicals only. So when there is a product of petrochemical, so that this petrol is basically used as a raw material, means starting of something, starting of any production, starting of any manufacturing. Alright, that is the thing. Then, it is the main source of many products like petrol, kerosene, diesel oil, paraffin wax, Vaseline, benzene. Okay, now we will see what are these particular things one by one. What is petrol? You know it. Kerosene, we know it. Diesel oil, we know it. Now what is this paraffin wax? This paraffin wax is basically a product of petroleum which is used for preparing candles. Paraffin wax. Okay, it is available in the market in the form of candles, and when any color is given to these paraffin wax, that is only how your crayon colors is manufactured. Different colors are added to it, such as red, orange, yellow, blue, purple, pink, black. Understood? So like this way, your paraffin wax is converted, is being manufactured as a form of what? Crayon colors. Clear? So I hope you know what is paraffin wax. Paraffin wax is used for preparing candles. Okay, and when any color is added to it, it is transformed into with some sort of machinery work or any other manufacturing process. It has been converted into crayons. Clear? That is the thing. Then benzene. Now question comes, what is benzene? Where do we find it? You people always observe it on daily basis. Let me tell you how. Whenever you are in a fuel station or a fuel pump, and whenever petrol or diesel oil is poured into any vehicle, you will observe that there is some sort of smell comes out every time. Whenever you are there near fuel pump station, or whenever anywhere petrol is leaking or diesel oil is leaking, we are able to find out that something is wrong. Okay, something is leaking, either petrol is leaking or diesel oil is leaking. So the question arises, how do we know it? Through the sense of smell. So how this petroleum or diesel oil is getting its sense of smell? That is due to the presence of benzene in petroleum. Okay, so what is the conclusion? The conclusion is this, that benzene is basically responsible of imparting smell to this petrol or diesel. Clear? That is the meaning. Then it is used for making paints, medicine, plastic and fertilizer. Whenever we are talking about paint, whenever you will find a paint which is used for painting, iron rods, then wood, then any concrete material, in those paint basically in those paint basically petrol is used in order to dilute it, in order to make it little bit more liquidy in nature. Okay, whenever you will find a paint which is tightly packed in a sealed bottle, whenever you are going to open it, you will find that it is too much dense, it is very much thick. So in order to reduce its thickness, petrol is basically poured to it. When petrol is poured to these colors, these paints, what happens? It dilutes itself, and after getting diluted, it is very easy to paint. Clear? That is the thing. Then medicine. Sometimes petrol is used for preparing medicines also. Now question arises: what sort of medicines? For that, I need some time to think, so that I can come out with an answer that what sort of medicine is being prepared by the usage of petrol. Clear? Then plastic. Whenever we smell plastic, okay, petrol smell or this diesel oil smell usually comes. So it is basically utilized in the manufacturing of plastics as well. Then we are talking about fertilizers. Whenever we are talking about fertilizers, means all sorts of manures and fertilizers which is used in agricultural processes in order to increase the productivity of crop. Alright, that is the thing. Then it is the most important raw material for chemical industries. Whenever we are talking about chemical industries, it serves as a raw material. You know why as a raw material in chemical industries? Basically what happens, whenever there is certain manufacturing of certain type of chemicals, petrol is the base of it. There are certain machines, as I have told earlier itself, there are certain machines which basically run with the help of your petrol or diesel. They are basically fuel. They are basically used as fuel to run these machines. Clear? That is the thing. Then distribution of oil. Here comes the important thing where you need to mark certain states' name, certain places' name. So distribution in India. India imports about 2/3 of its oil requirement. India produces about 5% of the world's petroleum reserves. In order of importance, the main areas of mineral oil deposits are. Before going further, there is a word written. India imports about 2/3 of its oil requirement. What is the meaning of import? In order to know the meaning of import, you should know what is the meaning of export. If you know the export, is opposite is import. So export means whenever there is an extra of something in that it can come everything. It could be an oil, it could be a tea, coffee, any food crop, any cash crop, any cereal crop, anything, any manufacturing which is run way beyond extra, which is left out, they are basically sold to the other countries. Okay, when a domestic country sells any product to a different country, it is known as exporting. Okay, so this thing, by this thing, what is happening? Our country earns the foreign exchange. You know, there are certain foreign currencies which whose money value is too much. You know, a very simple thing, that is US dollar. Their $1 is equivalent to India's 72 rupees. Okay, what is the recent value? That I am having a little bit confusion, because it always fluctuates between 70 to 75. It always fluctuates, that is the way. So there is no specificity that no, this is only the particular value, because it always fluctuates. Clear? So let's take an idle value, that is 72 rupees. So their $1 is 72 rupees. If they are under I just want to say that if their currency is their currency of $1 in our Indian currency is 72 rupees. So what will be the condition if they are giving us 72 rupees? 72 into 72, you know how much it is. Clear? That is the thing. So that was the meaning of exportation. When we are talking about import means we are lacking behind in some of the things. Means we are not having that much amount of any particular substance which can be fulfilled by everyone. So what happens basically? like this way we are basically buying some of those products from the different countries. When we buy products from different countries, it is known as import, and when we sell our products to the different countries, it is known as what? Export. Okay, that is the thing. Then offshore sea at Mumbai High, Basin and Aliabet. Important, very important. These three names are very important. Kindly underline it and try to memorize the first two or any two according to your convenience. Then Dijuboy, Naharkatia, Rudrasagar, Nunmati in Assam. In Gujarat, Ankaleshwar, Koyali, Kalol and Navgaon are the important oil fields. Godavari Basin and Kaveri Basin have now become the prospective oil fields of India. Do underline this particular statement, especially this statement that is Godavari Basin and Kaveri Basin have now become prospective oil fields of India. Means you can say that it is prospering, it is growing, it is developing in India. So you could expect a 2 marks question from this particular statement, either in short question or in the form of fill in the blanks. Okay. Then distribution of mineral oil in the world. Petroleum is a very important resource. It serves as a raw material, as a fuel, lubricant and illuminant. What is the meaning of illuminant? Which is having the ability to catch fire. Okay, it is known as what? Illuminant. Clear? Then USA is an important oil producer of the world. Oil is mined in many parts of USA. They are the Gulf Coast region, Rocky Mountain region, Southern California and Appalachian region. So USA is an important oil producer of the world. That thing you have to underline about USA. That becomes important. Then Russia is another important oil mining region. Ural-Volga region is an important mining area. Western and Eastern Siberia and Sakhalin are another important oil producing areas. Simply you can underline the word Russia, Ural and Volga region. That you can underline. Then when we are coming to Venezuela, so it is written over there that Venezuela is the leading oil producer in South America. So please underline it. That Venezuela is the leading oil producer in South America. Then the Gulf of Maracaibo and Orinoco Delta are the main mining areas. You can omit it, not that much important, but the first statement is very important, so please underline that. And in the Middle East, the main oil producing countries are important names underline, that is Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Iran, Iraq, Bahrain, Abu Dhabi, Qatar and Dubai. Now in this thing what you need to do, you have to learn any 4 names. Please learn any 4 names from this particular area. Then in Canada, oil fields like Ontario and Mackenzie River basins, China has also become an important producer of oil. Simply just know. Keep it as a part of your knowledge. Clear? So students, these were the entire topic of petroleum, its uses, its distribution in India and its distribution in the world. Students, I am thinking about something that as soon as you know that this is only the last chapter left out in your particular portion. So I will be dealing with in each recording session with one topic. Okay, and I am thinking of to provide you certain question answers with these things so that it becomes easy for you to remember, because you know if you are going to learn everything all at once, it becomes very confusing and you will be not able to understand anything. Okay, so in order to know that, I know you people are learning, some of you are not, but the thing is that if I am giving you certain questions from between the chapters, so it becomes easy for you to prepare yourself for your examination. Don't know whether this time examination will be happening in the school or it will be happening at home. So don't know whatever will be the result, so it is better to be prepared from beginning itself. So I will be providing you with short question answers. It will be not long. It will be of 2 marks or 1 mark only, not more than that. Clear? So I will be providing you some sort of question answers, especially with specific sections. Means the metallic metals, we have studied so many metals. So from each metal I will be providing you at least 3 to 4 questions from each metals or in each non-metals. And this thing will be continued unless we are finishing this particular chapter. When we will be finishing this entire chapter, okay, hardly how many things are left? One natural gas topic is left out and another one mining is left out. Okay, mining and the conservation of minerals, these 2 topics we will be doing together only. and in the next session we will be discussing about natural gas only. So hopefully the video will be very short, indeed it will be. So what I will do, I will be providing you with the differentiate between answer and brief. These two are basically the questions which is given in the book, which you need to do it on your notebook, including the explain the following terms in brief. Alright, so this thing will be given to you, this particular exercise portion of this chapter will be given to you at last, but I am thinking of providing you with some sort of some short questions from between the chapters, so it becomes easy for you to know which all are the names, and it will help you in order to memorize this entire chapter. Okay, so I am ending this session over here right now. Have a nice day. Thank you, children.